Live from a worm-ravaged brain's fever dream. It's the Geek Show.
I'd just like to just say to Measles, welcome back.
Polio, happy to have you.
Well, right over here, Polio, right over here. Have a seat.
Sit there next to Mumps.
Yep, Mumps, over there.
I'm immunized.
Right over
it's
there.
It's okay.
Start the show. All right. Are you all right?
Can I say...
Huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, can I say that one of the things I enjoy the most about Only Murders in the Building are Martin Short's grunts. He grunts so much in that show, and it kills me.
He is a national treasure, even though he's Canadian. I think he's American now, isn't he?
Yeah.
We claim him as our own.
A North American treasure.
A North American treasure, and I'll be sad when he goes. He is a delight.
Mm-hmm.
And Quad T agrees with me. Too tall, Tony.
Darn right I do.
He is listed as Canadian American.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
She is not Canadian American. She's all American. She's Rebecca Frost. Everybody.
Sure would like to be Canadian right about now. Am I right, everybody?
Amen.
Poutine.
Are you considered a digital nomad visa?
How does that work?
Well, do you have a job that you can do from anywhere in the world?
No.
I do.
I do.
Does this count? Does this count?
Is this your only job?
Kind of.
Well, there you go.
There we go. He's got all the answers. He's Lee George Cade.
Oh, I have 35 specific answers. Everything else I'm making up as we go along.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And his guttural grunts equal those of Martin Short. It's Robert Neal, everybody.
Woo!
Yeah.
He appears to be frozen in time. There he
Oh, no,
is.
he's got a delay.
You got a delay, Rob.
Our host.
Oh, it might be okay now.
Oh.
Don't forget
Carrie
about our
Jackson.
host, Carrie Jackson.
Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, x96.com. I can do this job anywhere.
Carrie, there's like 35 nations that allow a 1-year digital nomad visa. So if you can do your job remotely, you can apply for that 1-year visa. And when it's 9 months through, you can either reapply for another year or you can go to another country. You could travel the world from the comfort of your
Harry,
mobile studio.
You can't open a Mazda dealership anywhere in the world.
That's true. How did you know that was my dream?
Isn't that part of your job, going to new Mazda dealerships?
Oh, I thought you meant it would be my own Mazda dealership.
I've always seen Carrie as a Mazda dealership general manager.
I could just imagine the bosses walking in and being like, Carrie, you have to do a remote at Smart Volkswagen this weekend. And you're like, but I'm in Kazakhstan. And you're like,
Carrie, we need you to go to a haunted house.
Yeah. Well, today it's a good one. Today it's a Whiskey Walk history tour.
What fun? Where?
So jealous.
Downtown. So yeah,
go to the one in Portland. They'll show you the tunnels where they used to kidnap people.
I knew that one.
Now, see, that's the good news is that I get to do that. I don't know if you've checked the weather outside or not.
No, I can see it.
That's the bad news.
With my eyes.
That's the bad.
It's not so bad. Not on Mount Doom.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel better because it's bad up here.
It's snowing pretty good here in the valley floor. I am the valley floor.
You are downtown-ish, yes.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you go any farther, you'll drive right off the edge of Salt Lake City.
That's right.
You guys look outside?
Flat Lakers.
No, I don't have to. My dog comes in and tells me the weather report by whether she's wet, dry, cold, or hot.
But I love windows.
Overrated.
Don't.
You
won't
no,
upgrade
you
'em.
don't. You won't.
I
Yeah.
don't upgrade. We all know I notoriously don't upgrade my windows.
You don't like Windows 11.
Meanwhile, Eric is reminding us it's a beautiful day in Austin. Yes, but you're in Texas.
Yeah, but you're in Texas, so
Boom,
that's,
roasted.
A blue island and a red steak.
got him.
listen, we got a lot of stuff that we got from D23 in Brazil last weekend that we missed. So let's take a look at that. D23 in Brazil was a fan event. And we got, you see, I'd love to show you the trailer here on the show on our YouTube channel, but for some reason, we're not allowed to, but other shows are. I don't understand, but there you go. We get kicked off whenever we try to show these.
We're not
It
cool
was
enough.
it was a great bit of footage. Of course, Captain America: Brave New World hits theaters February 14th, so we're excited about that.
This trailer looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Be prepared for the most politically ambiguous Marvel movie to date.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The president is a giant red rage monster.
And they've gone and done reshoots again. Did you hear about their test screenings? They had test screening A, test screening B, both with different footage, different endings. And so they have gone back and done reshoots based on the one that got the best reaction.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes out. But it's a great trailer. Go take a look at it. One of the things I enjoy about it is that they've motion captured Harrison Ford's face onto the Red Hulk, and it just looks like Harrison Ford, and I just love that.
Yeah.
I wanted dub lines from Shrinking into Red Hulk's mouth.
See, that's the thing is that I watch Shrinking,
Yeah.
and Harrison Ford's there, and I think to myself, that's got to be the easiest gig that he's ever had, because he is naturally grumpy 24 hours a day. He shows up, hits his marks, says his words, goes home. You know,
No running, no punching, no.
none of that.
He did not do any running in this. They had him stand in one of those machines that scans you.
Yeah. Rick noticed right down to the salt and pepper chest hair. I didn't dive that deeply, Rick, but thank you.
Well, but that's crazy. So salt and pepper chest hairs, but his head of hair is like dark. What's up with that?
Radiation.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because all I saw on social media was, why is sparks flying from him hitting the Captain America shield?
There is an answer for that.
There is an answer for that. Yeah.
Friction.
It's
No.
because
Well,
because
kind
of the Red Hulk's energy base, isn't it?
Yeah,
And hot.
the energy discharge and the heat discharge at a high enough temperature, when metal is impacted by something that hot, it will spark.
Yeah.
You can see it in the trailer too. Like he hits like the concrete or something, and it leaves like a burn scorch mark.
Melt. Yeah, because
Exactly.
the madder he gets, the hotter he gets.
Yes.
Just
Not so much
remember,
the stronger.
just remember, nitpicky nerds. There's most likely an answer, and you just don't know it.
Exactly.
If you would like, I can explain to you the 17 reasons why you're wrong about The Last Jedi and why everything in it actually has an explanation.
Thank you.
Get him.
Maybe for the after party.
I got him! I got him!
And Tack makes a good point. This is a redo of a classic Captain America cover with Steve Rogers and Bruce Banner Hulk.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. Your homework assignment, before February, obviously, is to go and watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus TV series. Sets all up for this. Also setting up for that is Thunderbolts.
I loved this other.
This trailer was
so
fun.
much.
It was fun.
I am
wasn't it?
cautiously optimistic about how
Me.
fun this will be.
I'm full on optimistic. I am diving in, ready to dive in.
Driving through the desert in their big stretch limo, and
I love America.
Not everybody
It's
can have
so
a Blackbird,
big.
Carrie.
exactly.
It's such
Or
a great
Quinjet.
parallel. It's such a great parallel to the What If clip of the Red Guardian and whatever guy driving through the desert. So they have those two
Captain
parallels.
America.
No,
No.
other guy.
So we get Thunderbolts, and like I said, it's a good 2.5 minutes of the movie, and it looks great. And of course, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, another American treasure. May 2nd, free comic book day.
Confirmation. We know we know who bought Avengers Tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
kind of cool.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, it was Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, because Elaine lives in the building now. She got her own control.
Only that kind of money could buy Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
Your Seinfeld money.
But they also explained the asterisk behind the name now, or they kind of given a lead into that.
Oh, did
Yeah.
they?
So in the trailer,
catch that.
Red Guardian goes, "We are the Thunderbolts," and everybody's kind of like.
That name's stupid.
So they put the asterisk there, kind of like work in progress.
Yeah.
So
He
that's
wants
what,
to be
that's
called
what it
the
is there.
Thunderbolts. Everyone.
I get the
else
feeling
is.
it's going to be named something else by the end of the movie.
Probably.
Well, and because I'm wondering because this comes out after Captain America,
Yeah.
where Thunderbolt Ross maybe
Mm-hmm.
maybe he now bad guy, and so they don't necessarily want to be called the Thunderbolts after whatever
Or maybe
Thaddeus
he
Ross did in
joins
the
and
previous movie.
Beats on them until they have to be the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
There's a comic precedent for the Thunderbolts getting rebranded, and that name is co-opted by the person who bought Avengers Tower. So we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Well, you'll have to tell
I think
me
I know what you're talking about.
when we're off
Yeah,
the air,
I
so I can hear this. Another thing that we got from D23. This is What If Season 3's first look, where everyone was talking about how they're forming a giant, Mighty Morphin Avenger Rangers
bot.
robot.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the Darcy Howard the Duck team up. That's what I'm talking about.
Good golly.
I love that. Now the big conversation is Storm of the X-Men wielding Mjolnir as the goddess of thunder.
She's done it.
She's done it before.
Yeah, and the voice is from the X-Men animated series, Allison Seeley Smith, so it's very dramatic.
At least she doesn't monologue introduce herself like she did in the original cartoon. I, Storm, mistress of the elements, queen of Wakanda, seventh son of Robert and Judith.
But there were a lot of people in this trailer. If you freeze frame it, you can go through and see just about everybody's there. Captain Peggy Carter, Agatha Harkness is there, Shang-Chi,
It's
Moon
kind of
Knight.
Peggy's show.
Yeah, Moon Knight's there, Yondu's there, White Vision is there, Korg. I mean,
And you were there? And
Wongers.
you were there?
exactly. Now we'll be getting this in December, so you can watch it over your Christmas holiday.
Oh, yeah, they're doing that thing again where they're releasing like one episode a day.
Yeah, December 22nd, Disney Plus. So you can watch that instead of talking to your relatives. Let's see. Oh, and the other thing that was happening at D23 in Brazil is Feige addressed Blade to the crowd.
Was he there?
Feige was there.
Oh, I meant Blade.
Oh, no,
Blade,
Blade
like-
was not there.
Hello, Blade.
Wesley Snipes
Hey.
was not there.
Here's what he said. We are committed to Blade. We love the character. We love Mahershala's take on him. And rest assured, whenever we change direction with a project, we are still figuring out how it fits into our schedule. We let the audience know. You're all up to date on what's happening, but I can tell you that the character will indeed make it to the MCU.
He technically already has.
Yeah.
Technically.
Technically.
If
And
we're
this was like, how do you
loopholing.
like his take on it? He had one ADR line.
Yeah.
Love your take, buddy. Love your take.
In the most disposable MCU
Do
movie
you
so far.
know? Do you know what I saw at the grocery store this week?
I certainly
What?
do not.
The Earth will die a heat death, and all that will remain
yeah.
are cockroaches and Eternal's Pez dispensers.
Yeah, I saw those at Michael's last week.
I've got one up here.
It's a collector's item, Carrie.
It
There-
must be.
Are they if they're still in stores?
No, wait, it's collecting dust.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's a
God.
It's an
Collecting
item,
item.
that collects.
I got it because it's a Pez dispenser that we shouldn't really have. It's the giant, it's the giant being that's stuck in the
Celestial.
ice. The
I
celestial.
checked the expiration date on it too because I was like, surely this must be expired
Pez.
by now.
It's Pez.
2028 is what the date says on the
2028.
packaging.
Sugar doesn't really
It
expire.
really doesn't.
So the next presidential administration will still have Eternal Pez
Yes, we
dispensers.
will.
That's such optimism, Rebecca.
There's not going to be another presidential administration.
We get god emperors from time to time on this planet.
Yes,
Worms.
we do.
That's the worms.
Yep. Brainworms. Anyway, well, let's remind everybody that we continue this conversation after this podcast with the after party. And how you find that is with our Patreon. You go to geekshowgotthiscovered.com for the after party, which happens live after we get done recording this for the podcast. We go into a private room, and you're allowed to come in with us. Also,
Yep.
you get the Space Show show
Pay to
early.
watch.
There is a downside to the after party, though. We're all really hungry.
Yeah. And one of these, I swear, I'll get some videos up there, some more Time Closet videos. It's been puppy hospice up here, so we've been busy. But we'll get there. Also, geekshow.store is a place where you get all of our merch. Wear our corporate logo out in the wilds, if you would.
Yeah.
All right. Agatha All Along.
Ooh.
We got the assembled of Agatha All Along, the behind-the-scenes documentary, which I love these. And it says here, they're spinning it as a plus, but I'm a little pissed. You won't need Disney Plus to watch Agatha All Along behind-the-scenes documentary. Well, that's why I have Disney Plus, is so I can watch this shit.
But isn't it nice they're making it accessible to everybody?
It is nice they're putting it on YouTube, but I also want it on my Disney Plus so I can sit there in my big chair and watch it.
Not
You don't
on
have
Disney
you don't
Plus?
have YouTube on your big TV?
I do. That's not.
Then why are you complaining?
For the same
Kurt?
reason that you won't update Windows. It's the
Sure.
principle of the thing. Anyway. Wow. But you get the making of. These assembled specials are great. I watched the Deadpool Wolverine one that they have on Disney Plus, and it's fascinating to see how they make these movies, especially that Deadpool Wolverine. That was a lot of it was not computer effects. A lot of it was actual physical effects. So yeah, go and watch that. See how they make see how they make your shows.
See how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Also, this is some weird news. What they're doing with Star Wars, I just don't know.
They're not making it.
They should stop announcing things.
Well, they really should. I mean, we had the news.
Weirdest looking nutsack I've ever seen.
That's funny.
His name is Scrat, Tony, and you will address him as such.
Well,
Scrat sack.
So Carrie, can I address this really quick?
Sure.
So, like, I'm a person who is rumored to perhaps have ADHD, and there was a time where somebody very gently told me, Lee, we really can't believe you because you keep announcing that you're going to do a thing and then you don't because you saw a squirrel and you chased it down the street.
Yeah.
So, Disney, listen to your old friend Lee, who really wants to have faith in you and your Star Wars projects. You're starting to act like me.
Oh.
You tell him.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Wow.
Yeah. Whoa, squirrel.
Right here.
So they had a Star Wars film set to hit theaters December 2026, and now they said, well, nope, not so much. We're going to because we own Ice Age now, we're going to make another Ice Age and put that there because those are guaranteed moneymakers, apparently.
Why not both?
I know, right?
Where
Ice Age meets
is
Star Wars?
my long-awaited Star Wars Ice Age crossover?
But
Wasn't that
yeah,
Empire on Hoth.
they say they're not canceling the movie; they're just pushing it back. I don't know what the hell to think. I mean, they announced the Simon Kinberg trilogy that they're coming up, and at first I heard that it wasn't going to be a Skywalker trilogy, and now I'm hearing it might be a Skywalker trilogy. So
Well, it wasn't it.
Carrie, can I put this into perspective?
yeah,
I heard that there's going to be a Blade movie.
yeah, okay, there we go.
You got to find a way for Babu Frick to take the name Skywalker on.
Yeah. So wasn't the one that was supposed to come out in 2026 supposed to be the Rey movie? And then they announced that they were doing the trilogy, and now she's supposed to maybe be like the Obi-Wan in that.
They are so freaking scared of Rey, and they're being such cowards about it.
They are.
The company, Fantasy Flight Games, the company that makes the official Star Wars miniature game, won't even touch the sequel era. They'll make stuff from Mandalorian, they'll make stuff from Andor, they'll make everything, but they won't put out a single freaking miniature from the sequel era because they're so scared.
I mean,
Yeah.
Toxic fan reactions to this crap.
I mean, so far the only Star Wars that we can count on is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie on May 22nd,
Oh,
Great.
It just got moved.
but that's 2026.
2026? That's
Yeah.
over a year. Oh, geez.
Oh, Tony, it takes a lot of room to move Pedro Pascal from the shooting stage at Fantastic Four into the sound booth
Yeah,
to record his lines while Clint
On the
Eastwood's
same
grandson
lot.
does the
and
while he's staring lovingly at Nick Cage.
And then we got Jude Law with the Skeleton Crew. And my wife heard a interview with Jude Law. He is thrilled that he is doing a Star Wars project. He is so
I love
excited.
that for him. So sorry it's gonna get shit all over.
Probably. Anyway.
But I don't know. I mean, because I'm cautiously optimistic about that, just because
I don't
it is.
know. I've seen the darkness of this stupid fandom.
I understand, but I'm hoping that they play this correctly and use it to get new fans, younger fans, kids in, who then will kind of force their parents to rewatch and reevaluate some of the things about Star Wars that they loved when they were kids.
I hope.
I love your optimism, Rob.
We went through this with the sequel trilogy. My youngest would not touch a Star Wars movie, did not care. This is a Star Wars household, and the child did not care.
Yeah.
Did you disown them?
The Rey movies come out, and the kid is 100,000% invested in Star Wars, and the fandom was so freaking toxic, kid wants nothing to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
So
Can't blame them.
That's why we can't have new Star Wars, assholes.
Yeah. And it's just going to get worse, I'm afraid. But
Yeah.
good. Well, sort of good news. I'm not sure how I feel about this casting.
I am not sure either.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sophie Turner.
She's a good actress.
She's
Yeah,
a
it's
good
fine.
actress, yeah.
She
She's a
doesn't
great
do
chef, right?
cocaine. She doesn't even know what it looks like.
She's the 7th best Jean Grey.
7th best. I'll buy that per dollar.
You write that down. 7th best Jean Grey. I like that.
Who are the first 6?
Well, she's the only actual redhead to play Jean Grey, so
But one of the Jean Grey performers was a Star Trek alum. So
True.
That's true. Yeah, the Sophie Turner is in talks to be Lara Croft in the I think it's
Phoebe Waller-Bridge
Amazon.
Tomb Raider.
the Amazon Prime Video Phoebe Waller-Bridge written and made Tomb Raider. So
you know what would have been great here is if they could have done what taken the DC route and gone, you know who did the voice acting for Lara Croft?
Tell me about
Haley
it.
Atwell? Get her.
Because
Because we've seen her we've
she's
seen her in
taken
an
over
action
Mission
movie
Impossible,
with
Yeah, she's
With-
taking on Mission Impossible, but I think she's too old to play Lara Croft.
Well, you'd have to do a Lara Croft later on in her life, not
In her
younger.
elderly years.
you do it like the Indiana
Elderly.
Jones Chronicles.
you're gonna do like that episode of Young Indiana Jones Chronicles where Harrison Ford guest starred and played a flute.
See?
Well, no, just do the voiceover. I guess it'd be
Yeah.
more like NCIS Origins, where she does the voiceover and then you have Sophie Turner.
we had a bunch of different British actresses trying out. Mackenzie Davis from Station 11 was the lone American to make the short list. Emma McKay from Sex Education, Lucy Boynton from Bohemian Rhapsody also tested for the role, but they're looking at Sophie,
I guess Ella Purnell was busy.
I guess.
She's got a lot of other things she's working on.
This is some news I'm actually very excited about. Because Forbidden Planet, classic film, 1956 sci-fi classic film, has never been rebooted or anything. It's still a pretty groundbreaking film for its time, for 56. But when I saw who was doing the new script, yes, that's... and don't call me Shirley. That was before he realized that he might be funny. And then also before he abused that right to be funny and was no longer
Yikes.
funny. Yeah, he was a dramatic actor back then. But the reason I'm excited about this is because the script, they finally got the rights wrestled away and figured out, but the script is being written by Brian K. Vaughn.
Well, now I'm in.
Yeah. So you're talking Why the Last Man, Paper Girls, which was great if you haven't seen it. Saga,
Ex
of course.
Machina, Saga.
Talk about all these canceled TV shows.
Yep.
God, Why the Last Man was such a good adaptation. I will never
It
stop talking
was.
about it.
Very
Paper
good.
Girls was really good too.
Yes,
but-
it was. So yeah, it looks like they're moving forward on this. It's one of those properties that a lot of people in Hollywood were looking at, but they just couldn't get the rights figured out. James Cameron, for a while, was looking at it. But
You'd
yeah,
have gone to space to shoot it.
he would have.
Probably would have.
Did you know he wrote 17 episodes of Lost?
Brian K. Vaughn? Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Cool.
Isn't
I
that
was just about
crazy?
to share that, but you beat me to it, you lost fanatic.
Okay, he wrote a bunch, but then otherwise he was executive story editor on a lot of them.
All right, this next story is a little depressing, but here it is. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Series.
The show's
And if
been
you're not watching it, watch it. It is a ton of fun.
It's a ton of fun. It's already been canceled. The new season isn't out yet. It will release in 2025. But apparently one of the episodes will not be seen.
Well, why?
Well,
Take a guess.
How political can a cartoon like this get?
this one, pretty political.
Dinosaurs. Bold of you to believe dinosaurs existed.
I know, right? Let me just read the story here for you. Someone who worked on the show was leaking online posts on Blue Sky and Reddit that it's been pulled from release. One of these episodes, Disney is saying the decision to pull that episode was made over a year ago and unrelated to concerns over the current political climate. But when I tell you what the plot is, I think you'll clearly see Disney be lying. In footage from the episode, a character named Brooklyn discusses her history of formerly being forced to play on the boys' volleyball team, which is overheard by the coach for the rival team, Coach Greer. The opposing coach then pushes to disqualify Brooklyn from play while interrogating the teenager for her pride flag-themed knee pads and for having a water bottle that has a trans flag sticker on it.
Yeah, no, nothing to do with the modern political climate.
After the Squirrel Zone coach defends Brooklyn's place on the team in further footage from the episode, Greer uses a magical key to lock Brooklyn, Luna, acting as the team's water girl, and the rest of the squirrels in a facsimile of their locker room doing escape room trials in an attempt to force disqualification through non-participation. This leads to Luna's best friend Casey seeking Devil Dinosaur to help buy time and save the day. But this footage, who was seen by IO9, said that a lot of it was pretty on the nose. The character was put in this escape room kind of a situation where there are a whole bunch of doors, and she kept saying, "How many doors do I have to break down?"
Oh.
There are 4 doors.
Yes. So yeah, it's get used to this over the next 4 years.
And whatever you do, don't read about Persian history in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I have a friend who worked on Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and it was one of her favorite projects to ever work on because everybody who worked on it really cared.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was just one of those projects where, like, you know, you could tell everybody really believed in what they were working on and everybody really cared. And they made the effort to make sure that, like, the voice casting was done correctly. And just, the show rules. And if you're not watching it, you should.
It's a delightful, fun little show. And yeah.
I have a friend who has an animation project that's being looked at by Titmouse, and they're terrified. They're absolutely terrified because Titmouse wants to make it a long-term commitment, but they can't find a single network that will carry it for more than a one-season obligation, A, and B, won't completely eviscerate it because they're too afraid to move forward with anything that isn't too samey.
And that's the problem with tyranny, is the censoring yourself before. That's part of the problem. That's the problem that I have with it. Yep. Is let's put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's what music and back alley bootlegs are for.
But my free
We're
speech.
gonna have bootleg animation.
But my free
We
speech.
used to. I'm sorry. The only way we were ever able to watch a lot of the stuff that wasn't American homogenized Reagan era crap in the 80s was through bootlegs.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds goofy, but half the shit that I watched that was from other countries was stuff that a friend handed me on a VHS and said, "Check this out. It's going to blow your mind."
Exactly.
That's the only way we saw it. And it's the only way we could see it. And we didn't even speak the language 90% of the time.
Yeah, Tack, that's true. Don't worry, that First Amendment's doing just fine, right?
My free speech.
Yep. Yes, Bug Hunter, they did do it to DeSantis, but he's just a governor. You see, now you've got the whole machine against you.
Also, they were feeling emboldened at the time.
Basically.
The landscape's changed a bit.
All right, let's move on to some good news, and this is for our DC fans, especially our Green Lantern fans.
Yeah.
We've got... well, there's the statue. Did you find a picture of the woman that they cast in Lanterns? Because I wanted to see...
I did. Oh, yeah. Oh, I did. I don't have it up anymore. Hold on.
Bring that, because I want to see if we can figure out who this character is.
She's playing a character named Zoe.
Let me find it here. The actress's name is Poorna Jagannathan. She is from the show Never Have I Ever. You've seen her before.
She's the mom in Never Have I Ever.
She's joining... There she is.
Oh, yeah, I recognize her.
She's joining the Green Lantern TV series as, here's the character description, Zoe, an effortlessly confident and poised woman in any setting and as composed and cunning as the influential men around her.
Oh, crap.
So, any idea who this could be?
Well, if it was a Kyle Rayner show, I'd be concerned that she's refrigerator-sized.
Oh.
I'm wondering if they're redoing Carol Ferris.
That's what I was thinking, too. I was like, that sounds like Carol Ferris, but...
Yeah.
It does,
Who's Carol Ferris?
Could be.
She's Hal Jordan's boss when he's not a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
It's like
and
Ferris
lover.
in space.
Girlfriend.
Love
And a
her.
Star Sapphire.
But yeah, so you got she's joining the cast.
Interesting.
What's the name that they're giving her again? Zoe what?
It just says Zoe. Does not give a last name.
They're gonna pull an arrow and halfway through be like, oh, that's just my nickname. My real name's
My real name's Carol Ferris.
yeah.
She's from Never Have I Ever. She was recently on the Apple TV film Wolves. She's also from HBO's The Night Of.
It's pronounced woofs. Carol.
Yeah.
Wolves.
Wolves.
Is that right? And the series Deli Boys she was in. But you've seen her before. She's a good actress.
Yep.
That's Deli Boys as in the city, not the delicatessen.
Oh, because I
okay.
wanted a sandwich now.
Because now you were thinking sandwich. And then the statue. Yes, this is...
Yeah, go back to that statue. That is a good
It's an
looking
awesome looking
statue.
statue.
This is from Jim Lee's Instagram. Joining Batman and Wonder Woman into the DC pantheon of superheroes, watching over the beautiful city of downtown Burbank. Green Lantern John Stewart, which was unveiled at the
cool.
Burbank Empire Center.
I am curious about this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Love that it's a Jon Stewart statue right out of the gate. However, I'm waiting for feedback from well, why isn't it Hal Jordan? Even though most people at this point,
I was gonna say, I don't think you're gonna get
Yeah.
that with our generation.
With our
my
generation, probably
and,
not.
and younger, because our first Green Lantern was Jon Stewart, really,
for your generation, yes,
and younger.
and younger. But I'm sure that there's somebody out there who's just like, can't see why it's not Hal Jordan
I'm just
Kyle Rayner or Guy Gardner.
Or Chip.
I'm just excited.
I would
that
vote for
What about Rob Rayner?
Just excited that you can go to the Burbank Empire Center, and when you're stopping by Bevmo or Sephora or Best Buy, you can hang out with Jon Stewart.
Check out the Jon Stewart statue.
Let's see. Jim Lee says, based on the gorgeous artwork of Jamal Campbell, with 3D digital refinement by McFarlane Toys, this larger-than-life bronze statue made by the local American Fine Arts Foundry sports a luminescent light green patina, showcasing the power and might of this groundbreaking superhero.
It's kind of crazy how this statue looks better than that other basketball statue that was unveiled.
Yes. Yes.
It looks a lot better.
Ain't that the truth? I should have sent this to you, but I wanted to show you really quick if you're watching on YouTube. So I get a text last night from our old friend Derek Hunter.
Derek!
And he sends me this. He says, thought you'd appreciate some pals I found at work today. I've never been to the 5th floor before, but when I saw these, I said, you know who would love this shit? Carrie. Let me get the picture up here. And what it is Derek found the 5th floor. Can you see that?
No way.
Those are the original Banana Splits costumes.
Oh my goodness.
I think you mean Five Nights at Freddy's. That's fine.
That Derek found on the 5th floor of where he works. They're
That's
Warner Brothers.
awesome.
Bad part is he can't leave the 5th floor now. He's stuck there forever.
He's stuck there. I just replied, God damn, I loved that show when I was a kid. And he says, I've never once seen it. I don't know why the Sid and Marty Croft shows didn't get the rerun treatment that so many other shows of that era did, but I know for certain that I missed out. And I replied, I'm sure it's corny as hell by today's standard, but as a kid, those animals were in a rock band and drove dune buggies. They were goddamn cool.
The Dukes of Hazzards, but puppets?
Yep.
Kind of.
And he replied, he says, it's like Yo Gabba Gabba. Looks janky, but it's charming. And I just replied, the Banana Splits walked so that Yo Gabba Gabba could run.
So Warner Brothers owns the characters, because I remember that growing up, there's a theme park just outside of Richmond, Virginia, called King's Dominion, and that, if I remember correctly, is where they were like the amusement park scenes when they're running through the amusement park. I think that was either there. It may have been Busch Gardens, but I think it was King's Dominion, and I know that King's Dominion had Banana Splits characters throughout the park. So and King's Dominion was a Paramount, at least at the time, affiliated theme park. So I don't know where the legal things come in there, but that's a fun find. That's an awesome find.
Now, they did a Banana Splits movie here a few years ago.
Yes.
where it was like a Five Nights at Freddy, where they were animatronic and they were going around killing people. But
Rick Bickmore, Danger Island was good, but it's no Dr. Shrinker.
that's true.
You guys know, so you know that like Winnie the Pooh horror movie that
Blood and Honey?
that they are suddenly like going all out and making like a whole universe on. I saw stills from the upcoming Popeye
Yeah.
horror movie.
Popeye
I guess-
horror movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
guess
takes
Popeye's
no
in-
imagination.
The Dark
at all.
Side of Spinach. Come on now.
It would have been a great opportunity for him to fight like Cthulhu monsters.
Well, and the funny part is they've already done a Popeye-themed horror movie
That was
officially
Popeye.
with Robert Altman directing. It was horrifying.
You shut your mouth, Lee.
This horror movie, the villain is Popeye's forearms. They get so big that they just smother the world.
That was a great
Spoiler, Popeye
was-
is the villain.
That was
Bluto's
a
the
great
hero.
bit in the movie, though, when he gets his spinach and Bluto's pushing him underwater to drown him, and then suddenly this giant forearm comes up out of the water.
Oh man, I watched that movie so much when I was a kid, and then I watched it as an adult, and I wondered what I was on when I was a kid.
Listen, for the song "He's Large."
Oh, He's
alone.
Large is amazing.
You
It's
know.
amazing. But
Olive
I also
oil.
got to listen to my grandfather give me the entire history of the Oil family when that movie came out.
Wow.
Well, you
What
need
year?
it. There's so many of them.
Yeah,
It came out in 1980.
1980, yeah.
but Popeye also ran in the Olive Oil comic strip. from
Yeah,
King
he
Features
wasn't the
Studios.
star.
So he wasn't the star.
When was the Robin Williams one?
1980.
1980.
Oh, is that the one?
It's that
Yeah.
old. I didn't know it was that
Yeah.
old.
Yep. So amazing. And not at one point did he fight a giant rock monster and Sinbad the Sailor. And
No.
That, you know,
Well, what was cool was that they built an entire island because they wanted to
did.
have a look of a cartoon, its own universe. They built an entire island in the ocean so that they could do this movie. It was crazy. Anyway, what did we consume this week besides the Popeye movie?
No, not Popeye.
no.
Popeye. Who
not
wants to start?
Popeye.
Spinach, none of that either.
Nope.
I'll start. I'll
okay.
even be fast about it. So, I restarted the original Game of Thrones, and there's a really funny thing that happens about 2 episodes in where you go, God, they're all babies. They're all just children, except for Sean Bean, who's still older than God for some reason. He went from semi regular aged in Lord of the Rings to 1,000 years old by Game of Thrones, and he's been 1,000 years old ever since.
He's never been a baby, ever.
I asked everybody in our Geek Show personal thing about what 4K video I should get first, and Rebecca was the only one who answered. And Rebecca, I'm sorry. I am saving Endgame for the Phase 3 box set.
Okay,
because-
whatever.
When
Yeah.
you announced what you said, I was already
Yeah.
on board with what you
Yeah,
bought.
yeah. So to break in the 4K Blu-ray player, I got Dune 1 and 2.
You son
Which-
of a gabe.
Which look amazing, and then the Dolby Atmos sound system, it really just melted my brain. I could hear all the ululating. So really
flow.
phenomenal. So also upscaling technology is fantastic. It's not so great on DVD. Like it's still there's a lot of artifacting and picture graining.
Well,
But boy, Blu-rays upscale beautifully.
That's because from a DVD you're going from 480p to
Oh,
4K.
I know. I
and a
know.
Blu-ray
Thank
you're
you.
going from 1080p to 4K. So
I realize I'm going from 10 times the resolution
Honk
to 4
shoe,
times the
honk
resolution.
Bingo.
It is sleepy stuff, I know, because while I was trying to explain that to the wife and child, they both just left.
Yeah.
They said,
Lee,
"Shut up."
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. It's my life.
Yeah. So things that have not aged well and don't upscale well, the sci-fi classic science fiction series Killjoys does not look good in 4K. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
sad about it because it's a good show.
It is.
But I think it's just like VHS quality. It's just that crappy.
Fairly
Cowboy
low budget.
Cowboy Bebop is 27 years old and beautiful. So thank you, Cowboy Bebop.
The
for being
Netflix
amazing.
live action show?
I don't even know what you're talking about. So
I liked that show.
yeah,
So did
and
I.
it's fine. It's fine. And if they had told original stories, it would have been fine.
Hmm.
But adapting half an episode of the anime series and then giving it a twist ending is lazy. But anyway,
Schmowboy Schmeebop.
yeah, whatever. Now, the best thing on TV right now is Arcane, at least if your name's Lee George Cade. And it is the best animation I've ever seen in my life. I think the first season is one of the best things I've ever digested because I sure love steampunk. And again, you may hate it, whatever. The second season is even better than the first, and the voice acting cast is phenomenal, and the music is phenomenal. And how is it that the best adaptation of a video game ever is a $200 million animated series on Netflix?
Now, have they started season 2 yet, or is it coming?
It's out.
Well, they did
Started
start
last week.
It's in
And
process.
Oh, is it a weekly release?
3 episodes a week. So the first 3 episodes are like the Piltover people coming down into the Undercity to try to bring the law, and that not working so well.
Nice.
And it's so good. Like, they don't do cartoon animated voice acting. These are real good actors. Haley Steinfeld, Ella Purnell, just really good actors acting their asses off, and then the animation actually conveying that so very well. And it is stunning. It is one of the best things ever. And I know it's the only other season that's going to be made for it. I want to see this animation team and these writers do more stuff, even if it's not. I mean, fuck League of Legends. The game's boring. It's stupid. It was never good.
Yeah, fuck you, League of Legends.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah. But boy, your show is good. So that's all for me.
Wow.
I'll go.
Okay, Tony.
We watched just a classic gem of a movie, 65.
Sorry, that movie's fun.
It is
I
fun.
enjoyed it. It's fun.
It is fun, but oh,
Take
man.
it for what it is. It's Adam Driver versus dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know, so with
Oh,
some
I
sci-fi
slept
technology,
through that.
and it was fun.
It's
You know?
fine.
Yeah, I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5. We had a good time with it.
3.5 naps out of 5.
And then watched the series finale of The Penguin, and man,
Hey, don't say anything about it because I only just
why
started
did you
it.
start so
Yeah, and
late? We
I'm-
tried to
Because
get
I
you
was
on this
waiting
weeks
behind.
ago.
for it to finish.
Oh, it was very good.
So good.
Don't
Yep.
spoil it. A thing has already been spoiled for me, and I'm very devastated.
Oh no.
Yeah. So highly recommend that show from start to finish. I was just enthralled, and I'll say it. Right outright, the absolute best part of that show isn't the story. The story is really good, but it's Sophia, but what's her name? Why can't I
Kristen
remember?
Milotti.
Kristen
Kristen
Milotti,
Milotti.
yeah. Kristen Milotti and Colin Farrell, their characters and the work they do with those characters is just mesmerizing. Like, if they don't get Emmy noms, then there's no justice in any of this.
My wife could care less about comic book shows, but she was captivated by this one, and in the finale, yelling at the TV.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Colin Farrell as the Penguin to me is same level, if not, no, I would say same level as Heath Ledger as the Joker. The transformation of those actors into those characters is just mind-blowing for me anyway. And then the other thing I did this week is I spent hours and hours and hours benchmarking my new computer build and comparing old scores to new scores and really doing stuff to anyone else besides a select few of us nerds out there would be mind-numbingly tedious, but I enjoyed the heck out of it.
I get that.
For you, friend.
yeah, benchmarks, yeah.
I've been
Frames per second,
obsessively
yeah.
I've been obsessively printing miniatures in different scales just to see which ones make me happiest.
That's
I
the
understand
thing.
your
That's
TV.
Lee, you're speaking
Yeah.
my language, man.
Yeah, I'm worst kind of nerdery, but it's so delicious.
So fun.
Yeah, it could be worse. You could be out on the street doing drugs.
Yep.
It would be less
Well-
expensive.
Yeah.
Let's see who's next. Rebecca,
I'll,
Robert.
I'll go next. I have a because I didn't really watch anything this week. I read a book this week. This really isn't the right place to recommend it. I thought it was really good. It's called The Women. It's written by Kristen Hanna, and it's about a woman who is a nurse in the Vietnam War, and it really changed my perspective on PTSD and Vietnam War vets. I thought it was such a fantastically written book. Just want to recommend that. Started watching The Penguin, as mentioned previously.
How far are you in?
4 episodes.
Okay.
I do wish I would have watched it before the election, because this guy is such a manipulative motherfucker.
You haven't seen anything yet. Like, keep going.
Well, I mean, there's one scene in particular I'm dying to talk about, but I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for other people. I'll bring it up in the after party maybe, but I'm just like, I don't know that I like the show. Like it's good. It's just he's so manipulative.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And with the fact that you wrote on Twitter, I wish someone would have told me that the Penguin is funny.
Yeah, nobody has ever mentioned this show is funny.
It's funny in the way that The Bear is funny.
Yeah.
You know, The Bear is not a comedy, and yet it won for comedy. And
the Bear is absolutely a comedy, but that's a discussion for another time.
It's a comedy for anybody who hasn't worked in the restaurant industry. Anybody who's worked in the restaurant industry, it's just PTSD, the series.
Yep.
Yeah, like Oz leaving Vic in his apartment saying, don't move anything, I'll know. Or like whatever. Like
it's got some funny stuff.
Funny. This guy's got jokes. Mm-hmm. There's 2 movies I do want to talk about that I've already seen, but so one of them is on Hulu now. It's called Thelma, and elderly action movie.
Oh yeah.
It's
on Hulu now. Okay.
It's on Hulu now. Highly recommend. It's so good.
Oh, I'm gonna
and
watch
then
that. Yeah.
a new release this weekend, A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut. I saw this movie at Sundance, but it's out wide release now. And it's about
he wrote it as well.
He wrote and directed it, and it stars him and Kieran Culkin as cousins who are going on a Holocaust tour at the behest of their now deceased grandmother, I think. But it's funny, it's heartwarming. It's one of those movies that's kind of dark, kind of funny, make you feel things, but it's in wide release now. Red One is also out now, I believe.
Is that out?
Open this weekend, yeah.
It's getting the best reviews.
$250 million budget. It is on track to make $30 million. I have heard from so many people that it is a deeply unfunny movie.
That didn't stop. That didn't stop grown-ups from making money.
I like Chris Evans, and I like old man J.K.
Simmons.
See, I was in when I heard the premise of the movie.
Yeah,
J.K. Simmons as a buff Santa. Okay, I'm in. Chris Evans as a cynical son of a bitch. I'm in. And then they cast The Rock, and I went, I'm out.
Well, did you see the interview?
Too,
Did you see the interview that The Rock did, where he was like, we did a test screening of Red One, and I sat in the same IMAX seats that Chris Nolan sits in to screen his movies. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, people are going to lose their minds over this movie. That's all.
Oh, well.
Wow. If you want to see Chris Evans as a little bit of a son of a bitch, but in a good movie, watch The Losers.
Oh my God, The Losers is so good.
Watch that.
Tony, have you not seen it?
I've never seen it.
You're going to love it.
It's no Train to Busan, but
oh well. I mean, you guys haven't led me astray yet. I'm the type.
But it is a fun movie. You also get Zoe Saldana,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, other people doing stuff. But it's a fun movie.
You got to watch this movie. It rules.
Adaptation. Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
All right. Let's see. What did I consume this week? Got back into The Penguin. I'm probably about 4 or 5 episodes in, like Rebecca. More Whose Line Is It Anyway with the kids, which is just funny on principle. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that the feed we were watching is just kind of crappy. I'm like, is it streaming anywhere? And I'm like, yeah, over here.
Yeah.
So they were quite happy that they now have seasons upon seasons of that to watch. Legend of Vox Machina.
Oh yeah, we've been watching that.
I need to watch that. Would you recommend it to a guy who likes fantasy shows and animation?
Not really.
Not at all. No.
Save your time. Watch something else.
How far are you? I think we're like episode 4 or 5.
I think I'm like 6.
Okay, so you're further than me, but man, it's a good season so far.
It is. I mean,
they got a little sexy in the third
what's
episode. I was like,
What was that?
What's it on? I don't
Prime.
Amazon.
what
It's on Prime.
Oh,
What
I
show
know what
are
I'm
we
doing.
What show are we talking about?
Vox
Legend
it's
of Vox
fantasy,
Machina.
Rebecca.
Oh, never mind.
And like I said last week, watching this and listening to the first campaign of Critical Role, seeing how the story varies, they're keeping as true to it as they can with the time constraint they have for 10 episodes or 11 episodes, but I'm still enjoying the hell out of that. I am almost done with Voyager season 9, known by most people as Prodigy, Star Trek
You're
Prodigy.
so far ahead.
He's 2 seasons farther than most.
I am enjoying where it's going, and I thought that I'd hit the last episode and realized, oh wait, it's ending now. That's not the end. But I'm enjoying that.
Oh my God, Rob, I hate to interrupt, but I have to ask a question of the class. Now that you guys have seen the best character in the history of Star Trek, Todd the corn dog vendor on Starbase 80. Chad, same name. Anyway, I want to show just Chad, the corn dog vendor on Starbase 80.
Is that from Lower Decks? Is that might be an episode I haven't seen?
Oh, I'm
yet.
behind.
Finally
I think
caught
I'm
up.
one. I think
It's
I'm
the
one.
new
yeah, I'm
episode.
behind.
Chad.
Rebecca, you will know when Chad shows up. You'll be like, "This is
There'll
the
be
promised
no
one."
question.
Yeah,
Well, on not to get like ahead of ourselves, but I just met Dr. Julian Bashir.
Yep.
Am I supposed to love him? Because I do.
no, because when
Rob's-
you get to
no, no,
DS9,
Rob's face
when
says
you,
exactly
when
what I was thinking.
when you get to DS9, you're gonna hate him for 3 years.
He's a complicated character.
He's a very complicated character.
And then-
he did not know how to write for 3 years. They're like, oh, wait, we can do
And
a
then-
thing here.
And then he's tied 6 ways with best characters.
Yes.
Okay.
Just feel your feelings. It's okay,
Yeah.
Rebecca.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
just let it happen.
flow.
Let
it
the
happen.
let the love flow through you.
There you go.
Go through it the way that we did.
Yeah. Finished my book, The City We Became. Quite enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next book in that series. But I set a goal for 20 books to read this year, and I've just hit 14, so my next 6 books are going to be much faster. So I'm doing the Elric
Michael
series.
Moorcock.
Yes.
What a name.
Ulrich.
What Moorcock?
Tony.
Yeah, just let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
This is the guy.
Eternal
This is the-
champion.
It
Yeah.
sounds like the guy.
it's the
He sounds like the
blueprint.
guy.
No,
I have not
El-
read this book in decades, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to kind of reviewing or going back through the series again and going, I remember this and this was fun for these reasons.
Yeah.
Um,
It's such 70s sci-fi.
it totally is. Totally
Very.
is. And then
Yeah.
in comics, Lower Decks episode volume 2 number 1. This is out. Fun read because Ryan North nails the characters. He's got a great take on it. You get the little added bonus commentary that he has in the bottom of all the pages. They also reference a few things from TOS, including the animated series. And they're commenting on some of Kirk's logs from an episode of the animated series. Like, how did he get that shot? How did he do this? Because they're looking at logs and it's like, with Kirk in the screen like this. So they poke fun at that. Captain America number 15, proving that Steve Rogers has a sense of humor, and so does Thor. And this is actually Thor trying to figure out what happened to Broxton, Oklahoma, where Asgard appeared over top of it and then disappeared. It was
Did
destroyed,
Rox-
actually.
Did Roxxon happen to it?
No. No. It was a Asgardian war, basically. Took it out.
Yes.
Black Lightning number 1, part of the All In series, set firmly in the DC comic universe, but also references some things from the CW series, which is kind of a nice touch.
Interesting.
You're kind of and Jefferson Pierce is working with the Justice League to help people following absolute power who wound up either having their powers change or develop new powers, and he's working with the League on an initiative to help these people cope with their new lives.
Cool.
Absolute Batman number 2. Absolute Batman is an absolute beast, as is the new Batmobile, which I will not spoil for you, but it's the Batmobile that this Batman deserves
Yeah, I'll bet.
in many, many ways.
Does it have treads?
I was going to say, it looks, based on him, it should be a tank.
Got him.
not quite
like-
a tank, but it's a tank.
A bunker on wheels.
I'm just thinking of the Frank Miller toward the end of the Dark Knight run,
Yep.
the Batmobile that he had.
I will say bigger than that Batmobile.
The freak.
Well,
Yes. And then G.I. Joe #1. And yes, that is the Baroness with G.I. Joe. Yeah.
Well,
It's an
G.I.
interesting
Joe
take.
just got hot.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's like, good for G.I. Joe.
It's a smaller team. It's not the 7 million characters. Right now they've got like 8. They're fighting Cobra, who is power, and this follows the what do they call them? The Energon universe from Image. So all of the Transformers stuff, Void Rivals, all of that ties into this.
oh, Eric,
And Cobra is working. Destro has developed weapons using Energon,
nice.
and GI Joe can't keep up.
Oh, that's like the Red Skull in the Captain America movie.
Sounds bad.
Yes. So, it's a good read. It's Joshua Williamson who's writing it. He's got a good take on the characters. And it's not, your 1982 G.I. Joe, although the faces and the characters are the same, the situation, different. So pick that up, give it a look.
Cool. Speaking of this CW universe, I'm watching the Superman and Lois.
I am behind on that. How is the season?
Okay, I watched a clip, and maybe you can explain this to me in the after party. I watched a clip, and I'm dying for context behind it. We can talk about it in the after party. But I was like, oh, is this show good?
It's just I've been
Superman is.
I've been hate watching it. I've been hate watching it because it's the final season, but now they finally did a good episode. They finally did something, and I went, oh, thank you for doing the thing.
I think my mistake is I'm watching this show in the context of the other CW Arrowverse shows.
It's pretty separate. From
You
all of
can't,
those.
because after
Yeah.
Crisis, they completely separated it from
Yep.
those shows. I'm sorry, not completely. They 90% separated it. There's still who crossed over. John Diggle shows up in season 2.
You gotta have your Green Lantern.
They never went anywhere with that. Jerk.
Oh, what?
No,
My
no.
mom's
Just
name
kinda
was Stuart. Didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Nope.
But speaking of the CW shows, though, the actress who played Batwoman is on that High Potential show, which is a fun little show.
Ruby
Oh,
Rose
the,
or Jervicia, whatever her last name is.
Batwoman. Her
The first
What
one or the
sh-
second one?
High Potential
Batwoman
is
Yeah.
and
one
Superman
with,
and Lois.
No. She had her own show.
Right, but there were 2 people that played Batwoman, because there was Ruby Rose who played it in the first season.
Yeah.
No,
Then there were
not
some
her,
contract
not her.
issues. Then it's Jervicia, I think it's Williams.
Yeah,
who
that's
played
her.
it the second season.
That's her.
Rose is just a natural talent.
Yeah, where
Enjoying
where
High
is she?
Potential.
The actress of our generation.
Yeah. Now, High
Oh,
Potential's a fun little show.
It's a fun show.
Yeah. Let's see. Of course, Lower Decks, and yes, the greatest Star Trek character ever, who's in the current episode.
And also the one before that, where they went before the Klingon High Council.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
I thought I was gonna have an accident that required.
Clean up
I
on aisle 5.
That's so Klingon.
I was laughing so hard.
I can't stand Boimler's mustache, though.
so
I
bad.
Thank you.
love
His facial hair.
the evolution of his facial hair this
So
season.
terrible.
It is so good.
by Starbase 80, he's got a little thing on his
Yeah.
chin now
God,
too.
Oh my
love
I don't.
it.
Oh my god,
funny.
it's so amazing.
Anyway, the Penguin finale, I told you that Sue was yelling at the TV screen. That's how good it is.
Yep.
I rewatched Deadpool and Wolverine with the closed captions on. There are so many jokes I missed.
Yep.
I believe it.
I mean, with lightning speed, these jokes come at you, and they're just so.
What's one that you missed?
Talking about, they're standing there next to Hugh Jackman, and Deadpool says, he looks really good in this uniform, although we're keeping him in the uniform because after his divorce, he put on some weight. And I'm like, that's a direct reference to Hugh Jackman getting divorced, isn't it? That's how mean this movie is.
Wow.
That, and he calls him Hugh several times.
And he does.
He does. Yeah.
But watch it with the captions on. There's so many jokes that just phew, right past you. And here's a little tip from me to you. If you're operating a puppy hospice, Do not watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Bruh, why do you keep watching this movie?
Just don't do that because,
Yeah.
my little puppy has heart problems. Guess what? Rocket has heart problems. All right, so don't watch that show.
Why do you watch this movie repeatedly?
I could have told
So
you that.
once upon a time, people used to worry about Carrie watching Pink Floyd's The Wall, and I'd be like, he likes it. It's fine. But I worry about you watching Guardians 3.
It's enrichment for his enclosure.
He likes it. It's fine.
I mean, there were people who Carrie would be like, hey, does anybody have a copy of The Wall I can borrow? Now, this is pre-internet, so he was calling people on the phone. Anybody have a copy of The Wall I can borrow? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And friends would be like, I don't know if that's a good idea. That movie's really down. It's like, it's fine. It'll be cathartic for him. He can work through his stuff. And now I'm like, Guardians 3, though.
I love all three of those movies, and so I had to shut it off and watch Captain America instead. Anyway.
Carrie, did you ever play the Guardians game that came out a couple years ago?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Even I played it.
He needs a youth.
Buy your freaking new Xbox and play the freaking game.
No, I just need time, Lee, is what I...
And a youth.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, we're gonna leave this room and go to the after party.
Not till we do games.
Oh, games.
Jeez.
So
What did you...
I tried to segue into it, and you just completely just...
Flipped the coin and it came up.
We're just not used to Tony being prepared with games.
Hey, that hurts because it's true. All right, let's see. Today is the 16th, so that means next week we have something called Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Yeah,
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Carrie. Have to interrupt you. I do have to list off the games really quick. Microsoft Flight Simulator.
That's a big deal if you like flight sims. That is coming out on PC and Xbox. It's basically an updated version of the current Flight Simulator, but they've boosted the graphics, added more areas, added more planes, all that stuff.
So what you're saying is just get the X-Plane Simulator instead.
X-Plane Simulator?
Twitter plane simulator?
Do they still
No,
make
it's actually like a friend of mine who's a pilot. So when I can't fly, this is what he does to simulate his actual.
Does he have a
flight
full like control panel and everything?
Yep.
That's
3
awesome.
monitors for full surround. Yeah.
That's why I play Star Citizen ever since I got booted from the academy. It's the only way I can fly a spaceship.
Stray, the kitty game, coming out on the Switch finally.
Yay.
So you can play it on your Switch.
Even after the studio went down?
Did Stray's studio go out?
I don't know. I'm making shit up again, Tony.
I think they're okay.
Carry on.
But then the one I'm really excited for comes out this week. It's called Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. And the Stalker games have been around for, I want to say about 10, 12 years, maybe longer, 15.
And this is just the second one?
This is
just now?
So they had the main one, and then they had two expansions, big enough that I think one of them was even a standalone expansion. Anyway, but yeah, this is finally the full second one.
Is this the crazy Russian subway game?
No, that's Metro, but I love that game too.
Yeah,
but this one takes place in the Chernobyl area, and it's in a kind of an alternate reality, kind of a place where Chernobyl actually ended up creating all these science fiction-y monster things and stuff. And so you basically go in there and some quests you need to do, and you got to survive, and there's all kinds of raiders and monsters and
Lost Arks.
Yeah, weird Lost Arks, weird electrical radiation anomalies, and it looks really cool. If you're a fan of the Stalker games, then you already know about this and you're really excited for it.
I don't know that I like Stalkers.
Also developed by a Ukrainian team, and there's like a whole 20-minute documentary on how hard it has been for them to get this game finished in the last year and a half, 2 years, with everything going on in Ukraine and trying to relocate and everything. And so, yeah, this game's a long time coming, but it looks like it's going to be really cool.
Really quick before you leave the Chernobyl thing, for those of you who haven't watched it and have Apple TV, 6 or 8 episode series Chernobyl, that kind of goes through what happened in Chernobyl.
It's fantastic.
Phenomenal
Incredible
series.
Yep.
Yeah.
The last thing to mention on the Stalker 2 game is it is also on Game Pass. So if you want to play it on your Xbox or PC and you subscribe to Microsoft Game Pass, it's right there for you. Otherwise, you can buy it on any, other platform. So there you go.
All right. Thank you very much.
How's that all the games, Tony?
That's all of them. I'm all done. You may continue.
All right, then. We will continue. We'll head over to the after party right now, and you can join us. Geek Show got this covered. .com is the website to our Patreon. It's very affordable, and you support the show, which is nice. So we'll head over there now. Live long and prosper, bitches.